Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at Cinema 4D's Align to Spline tag. Now sometimes when you're creating an animation you have an object that you want to follow a specific path. Sometimes that object might be a camera. In this little tutorial we're going to be looking at how to align an object to a spline. To do that I need two things. I need an object to align to a spline, and I need a spline to align it to. Okay, so my first instance, I'm going to create myself a cone, being the object that I wish to align to a spline, and then I'm going to create the circle, being the spline I wanted to align it to. So with the circle, I'm just going to change its plane so it's on XZ there, so it's nice and flat, and the cone I'm just going to shrink, otherwise it's going to be very large on that circle. Okay, now making sure that you have the object selected that you wish to follow the path. Okay, so in my instance the cone, go to Tags, Cinema 4D, and use the Align to Spline tag. Now the moment I click that, I get a little tag here on my cone which has some options down the bottom. Okay, and the one I'm most interested in at the moment is the spline path. Okay, that's asking which spline do you want to align this cone to, and that's the circle. In order to activate that, I click and hold on the mouse and I drag it into the spline path, and you can see instantly that that cone fixes itself to the beginning of that spline. I can no longer move this around at all. It is now fixed to that circle. Okay, making sure that I have the tag selected now, you can see that there is a position percentage, and that position percentage allows you to control how far along that spline from 0 to 100% that object is along that spline. Animating that is even easier. So at the beginning of the animation I simply click the keyframe, then I go to the end of the animation and I click the keyframe again after I've put in 100%. So you change the attribute, so it's 100%, put a tick in the box, press play, and you can see that my cone now animates its way around that spline. Okay, now in order to make it face a particular direction, this is where something called tangential comes into play. If I just click that cone and press play, can you see that the axes are all staying exactly where they were? So the z-axis is continually pointing in that direction, the x-axis is continually pointing there, the y-axis is continually pointing up. If I go to tangential, can you see that that z-axis now follows that path? So if that was the way the cone was facing, it would work its way round properly, looking like it's like a train on a track really. It's facing the direction it needs to go. Okay, you can control the axis that it faces, okay, that faces that direction, so that's using the z-axis. If I use the y-axis, okay, it doesn't seem to want to do that one properly. Okay, and we can change that a different way in another setting. And if we go the x-axis, okay, it does it the same fashion. Okay, so if I just pause that for a minute and go back to the beginning of the animation. This cone has some own orientation settings of its own. So if I just change that, you can work your way through. So it's currently up y plus y, which means that it is going upwards. If I did y minus, it faces that way. If I was to do z, okay, it would face that way, and press play, okay, and it starts to work its way around in that axis. And that way, if I go back to my axis there and now choose the z plane, then press play, there you go, you can see that that cone now flies its way round much like I would expect it to if it was a train on a track. Okay, now we can swap this out really quite quickly. So imagine we had a camera that was on a track that we wanted to follow. So if I just create myself a camera, okay, now creates itself exactly where I was just there. Okay, now one of the easiest things to do, if you set something up like that with a tag on the cone, you can just drag and drop that tag to the camera. Okay, and it places itself where the tag is telling you to go. So if I just press play now, there we go. It's aligned to the Z-axis, so it means that it will follow that spline all the way round, acting like a little train. Imagine if you had a particular path that you wanted your camera to go down. You can make your own splines up here with the pen tool, and you can give it, you know, all the curves and the kinks, and using three-dimensional space and ups and downs, and that will allow your camera to follow that spline all the way around. And you can control that using the percentage from 0 to 100%. Okay, that was a very quick tutorial as well on how to align objects to splines. I hope it was helpful for you, and I will catch you next time. Bye.